How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back in another video. This is the morning they're supposed to build the house, and I'm here. It's about 6 o'clock. I don't know what time them guys are supposed to show up, but I figured I'd get some work done before they got here. I got some parts for the stack for the wood burner. It's about 56 degrees outside right now. It's starting to cool off. It's not bad in here, but we're going to be needing this wood burner pretty soon, and I'm going to have to put the stack in for the forge. So we got the forge to get the pipe on, and the stack for the wood burner. It's going to be nice having the wood burner in here. When it gets really cold out, we can come in here, warm up, and get out of the cold. So this thing's going to come in handy. So we're going to get started. I'll show you what I got to work with, and we'll get her put together. So I went and picked up a couple new elbows, a tee, because we're going to have to tee off and get over to the forge, and then I got 3 pieces of pipe. Now this old pipe here, you'd think, well, why are you going to use that, Kevin? Well, this piece of pipe here is a little different piece of pipe. This pipe is designed to slide in and out. Okay, it looks rough, and if you notice all the little peck marks in it, and that's from knocking it and knocking the creosote down. But we're going to keep this pipe, and then we're going to keep the top piece on there, and we're going to try to keep the damper in this. Both these have to have dampers on them, because if you're using one, you want to shut the other one down. You're using the other one, shut it down. Just whatever one you're using, open the damper up and use it. We probably will, I'm not so sure we'd ever use both of these at the same time. It's probably either going to be one or the other. So we're going to get to tearing this piece apart, because we're going to keep that. Okay, the first piece I'm going to put on there is going to be a reducer. Okay, now a little bit of advice when you're putting in a wood burner. You can go, if your pipe on your stove is 6-inch, you could take it up to an 8-inch. So since my pipe on my stove is 6, we're going to reduce it down to 6 until we get up to the chimney. Where the chimney is, it's a 8-inch pipe. So if you're coming down your chimney, you want it to be big on the top, not too big, but big on the top, and smaller as you're going down. Or if your pipe is an 8-inch on your stove, and just run the 8-inch all the way up to the top. But being that mine is 6-inch on the stove, we're going to reduce it down to 6-inch, and we're going to split it off to the forge and go to the wood burner. So this is the first piece I'm going to bring down. Alright, the next piece we're going to be mounting on the bottom of the reducer is going to be an elbow. If you guys remember when I put the furnace on or in, I needed to get the stack away from the wall just a little bit, and we're going to use a couple elbows. Now, we want to make sure our male end is down. When we mount this in, the male end will be facing down. Female up all the time on your pipe. So I'm going to go ahead and mount these two on. Alright, so now, right there is what we have. We got the reducer on it, and we got 2 elbows. Now that second elbow brings it out far enough. It should shoot it right down into the center of the stove. So we're actually pretty far away from there. Now, when you're putting in a stack, you really don't want to do more than 2 90s. Now, I'm not a complete 90 on that, but that's still going to make it even hard to brush when you go to clean it. Having that bend in there is not a good thing. If you can go straight, that's the way you should do it. Now, when I mounted that in there, I didn't want that stack out in the middle of the floor because those rafters were on 2-foot centers, so it ended up really close to the wall. But best to go straight. But if you can't go straight, don't put more than 2 90s on it. So now we're going to put a T on there. Now this is probably not a good idea for a house one to put a T on it, but we're not in the house. We're in the shop and it's just going to the forge. I think it's going to be all fine. It worked great at my other shop, so it'll work good here. So we're going to mount the T on the bottom of there next. Okay, now as you can see, we got the elbow facing the forge. And we got that pipe lined up with that pipe on the stack for the chimney there, coming off the pipe coming off the chimney. Now we're going to cut a small piece. We need a small piece right in here. It don't have to be very big because see, this pipe slides inside of the other pipe. That's why that's an important pipe to have. So we're going to cut us about an 8-inch section. I think actually we'll go 8 inches. I think 8 inches is fine. So this is the best way I know to cut them. So take your pipe and we're going to keep the male end of this pipe. Now we won't throw this away because there is a tool that you can use to crimp this and reuse this piece too, and we probably will use it. So we're going to come down there and measure 8 inches. Now, if you have something to wrap around this pipe, like a piece of flashing, I don't have anything, but you could wrap it around there and get a nice straight line. But the only thing I'm going to do is go through here, and I'm going to mark this every maybe 1.5 inches or whatever, 8 inches all the way around. That way I'll have some kind of a line to follow when I'm cutting. Mark it as many times as you can. You want a fairly straight cut. Doesn't have to be perfect, but fairly straight so you don't damage the rest of the pipe. So now we have kind of a dotted line all the way around it that we'll use as a guide to cut it. And when I'm cutting the pipe, I just use a 4-inch grinder. So we ended up with a pretty nice cut, pretty decent. But what I'm going to do is I'll take a file and clean this up. I'm just using a little rat tail file, and I'm just trying to get the burr off of this. That way you don't get cut on it when you're mounting it. Alright, now that I got my pipe, all the edges cleaned up and the size I need, we're going to go ahead and mount it on. Alright, now we're ready to hook this up. One thing I wanted to let you know, they do sell this pipe, this piece of pipe here. This is a pretty unique piece of pipe. It's a little bit more expensive than your regular black pipe because it slides inside and out. It'll slide way down in there, and then you can pull it out and line it up with your stack without moving your whole stack. So your stack is pretty much stationary, so you need this to slide up and down. That makes up the difference of whatever gap you have. This is a pretty cool piece of pipe. I'll try to leave some links for some of this stuff in the description down below. But this is really good pipe. We're going to just go ahead and slide this up on there and get it screwed on. Alright, we have this piece mounted on, and I slid a T in there, and I closed my damper off down here. Put my hand up there, and you can feel the draft go between your fingers. Open your fingers and put them in front of there, and you can feel the air sucking through there. One thing about a chimney, the taller the chimney is, the more draft that you get. That's just the way it works. It sucks air out of the building up the pipe, and it does a very good job. You can feel it a lot. So I'm actually going to have one more elbow for this forge. It's not going to hurt what I'm doing here for the forge. The forge needs a draft, but not quite as much as you would need on your wood burner. But we're not doing 90s. We'll probably have a total of 2 90s by the time it's all said and done. But as you see, I don't have them in a complete 90. We don't want more than 2 complete 90s. So I'm going to work on this piece down here that goes into the forge, and I'll explain to you the tool that you use to crimp that with. Okay, these are the 2 crimping tools I have, and they're both basically the same tool. I just have 2 of them. I probably bought one, couldn't find the other one, and then ended up with 2 of them. But they're really cool tools. As you can see the way the teeth are on them. You open them up, slide your pipe in, and then you crimp it. And it allows it to bend that metal tight so it would be a male end. We can turn it into a male end with this. And this is the piece of pipe we cut off of, and we're going to crimp the end that we cut off of. So we're going to reuse this piece of pipe. And these pliers are not really that expensive. It's well worth having these pliers to crimp that in so you don't have to buy them. These are pretty expensive now, I mean, in my area. So we're going to get to crimping. So I'm going to start just about where the seam is and start working my way around. I usually just push them all the way in and then squeeze them. Go to the next line and then squeeze it. And just keep working my way around. Now, I will leave a link in the description down below for a set of these pliers if you're interested in them. Like I said, I'll try to leave some Amazon links for different tools and pipe that I'm using on the job, which makes it a little bit easier. But we are saving a piece of pipe. We're saving money right here with just having this tool. See what it's doing. See how it's crimping it? Making a nice crimp all the way around. So we'll go all the way around this, and then we'll get you guys back in here. Alright, as you can see, we crimped our end. Now we're going to place it in the top of our forge. Now this hole was cut, for this because I built it. So now we got that up. Now what I'm going to do is put a damper in this so we can shut that damper on and off. If we're not using the forge, we don't want to be using the stack. Alright, we're going to get to putting this damper in. I did another video on putting the damper in a while back, and it's not really that hard. I'll leave a link for the video where I put the damper in for you guys. So we're going to just do about 8 inches up on this damper, or up on this pipe, about 8 inches. I don't have a piece of aluminum flashing or anything to wrap around this thing, so I'm going to have to do my best to guess where these holes are going to be drilled. Now normally I would wrap something bigger around the pipe and keep it straight, and it would give you, a good round on it, but we'll be okay. So I'm going to get our hole drilled, the first one. Then I'm going to eyeball this guy straight across. I really like for it to be as close as I can get it. I think we'll be okay. Once we get this damper put in here, we'll be able to fire up the stove. Hopefully we'll get it cold. Keep Julie from freezing to death. It's a little tricky getting it through there. Okay, that was perfect. You can see our damper in there. I turn it, open it, and close it. Worked out pretty good. It just kind of eyeballed it. It worked. So we're going to go ahead and get to putting this on top of the forge, and that way fit that up there perfect. That worked out really nice. So now we'll be able to turn this damper off, on and off. That way we can use it either one. So that's going to work out pretty good there. I think what I'm going to do is take it out and put the damper handle on this side, because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to take it off, I'll switch it around. That's better. Now we got it on this side. So we can use the damper with our right hand. Works pretty good. So now we're going to get to cutting the rest of the pipe. We got a new elbow for at the top. I got the elbow up there, and I have an elbow down here. I got an old one down there, but it'll work. So we're going to get to piecing that together. Okay, I'm on my last piece of pipe. Need a 4.5 inch piece. Alright, the forge is hooked up and the stack to the wood burner. I'd say we fire wood burner up and see how good the draft is. I think that'd be cool. It's a little warm today, but what the heck, let's try it out. Alright, smoke is rolling. Now listen, it's never too early to get your wood burner fixed up and get it going. The best time to do a wood burner is during the summer. Especially if you want to buy one. Nobody wants them during the summer. It's too hot. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.